Hello guys, welcome back. Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench, and now we've got part 14 of the build of this beautiful Lamborghini in 1/8 from Pocher. So if you want to find out more about this model, you want to get one for yourself, then in the description below this video there's a link. You can click on that link and it'll tell you how to get there. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe just here, just there. Right, so I have done a tiny bit of work off camera. So as you saw in part 13, we fitted this rear end and we fitted all these panels and everything. We did get the oil filler tube in. So we go along there and then we come over the page and we are fitting the little hydraulic thingy-jigs there, which I've done, the little air, they keep the rear end up. And then we've got these side intakes going on here, these air intakes that go into the sides. If you remember, that was where Moss messed up. He glued them on because the instructions told him to, and then he found he couldn't fit the body on. So yeah, make sure you put these in after the rear body is fitted. They don't need to be glued. I'm going to show you in a minute. I have actually built them up and I have fitted them, but I'm going to take them off again so I can paint them. But I'm going to show you the way I think it should be done. So I am now going to give you a fourth version. So what I would suggest is fit the rear body, but miss out steps 2 and 3. Don't fit these parts, okay? 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Don't, these plastic parts here, don't fit them to the body. It's pointless. You can put them on afterwards. So, and also to fit those, I think it's better to have these off. So basically I've removed those screws underneath, and then that panel can come off of there, okay? And then this panel, oh, there's something else I want to show you as well before we go any further. That back in there. There we go. Okay, there's a screw that goes up under there that holds that in, and that in turn holds that in. Okay, but I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here because, as you can hear, they just rattle around. So I just want to put some double-sided tape. I also need to put some double-sided tape here because, if you remember, I broke the pin off on that one. So I don't think you can see it on the camera, but if you've got one of these, you'll see what I mean. I don't think it's showing up on the camera for some strange reason. I don't know why, but certainly when I look at this to the naked eye, I can see the area in the middle is darker than around the edge. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it on the camera lens or on the screen on the camera. On this side we don't have it, so I don't know if you can see it, but here you can see there's this area here and this area here is darker because we've got a backing here. Good, that was the delivery of the next 4 parts of the Hachette Lancasters, so we'll get on with those later. So as I was saying, here you can see through. Now, what I've done to prevent us being able to see through, if you look on the back of here, I've got some 40mm Tamiya tape and I've lined it. There's two layers on there, so it takes away the. Let's see if I can get this one off. Okay, so that's off now. So this is really weird. I can see it, but I don't think the camera shows it. But this one's got the tape on, 2 layers of tape, and this has got nothing. And I can see it, but it doesn't seem to show on the camera. But if you look at the one on the right, you can see my finger through it. And look at the one on the left, you can't. And that's what I'm doing. I'm blocking it off. I've got a piece of double-sided tape, which I'm going to remove because it's been contaminated with dust and dirt and all sorts of detritus. I'll get that off later. So yeah, so what I've done is put 2 layers of tape on the back of there, and I've also put tape on the back of this one here, and I've also put, let's turn this thing around again. This is where it becomes a pain with its size. It's a pain. Oh, it weighs a ton as well. You can see I've put a layer of tape on here as well, just to block out that black hole. Okay, so I don't know if you can see it on here. I doubt the camera's going to let it show, but again, I can see my finger through the one on the right, not the one on the left. So there we go. So that's how I've dealt with that. Right, I would also suggest, as I say, leave those off. Don't bother with those until you've got the body all fitted and everything. fit all the rear end, fit this in place and everything, and then put those on after. I've also managed to break that pin off on that one as well now. So it makes fitting these bits here a lot easier. Now, as you can see, you don't need to glue them in because they are very difficult to remove. I haven't painted these yet, but I will do. I'm going to get in there and try and get under it and lift it. I can't lever it against the paint because I don't want to scratch the paintwork. But they are very difficult to get out once they're in. In fact, I may be forced to leave this in here and not paint it, because I'd rather have it there than not. I'm not scratching the paintwork. Cool, blimey. Alright, so I managed to get them out. But basically, if you look at the Pocher video, the guy comes along with all this other pieces in place and he goes like that and he just slides it in and it just sits in there. No way. No way, that video is not right, because that photo etch stops you doing that, because that piece of photo etch has to go in behind the bodywork. So what you do is tuck this up under here. You can see where it goes. See, I can't even get it out now. You can see where it goes. This recess in here, that fits in there. There's a pin at the front here. I cut that off because I found that was stopping it going in. And this pin here is about 2.7mm diameter, and that hole isn't big enough for it to go into. So it's a nightmare all round, really. But basically, what we need to do is tuck it up under the roof, make sure that piece of photo etch is lined up, and then just push it in until it sits in that recess at the bottom, and that's it. And I don't think it's ever going to come out. Now, to get it out, what I found is this tiny little screwdriver that came with the Jekka Terrier. This one here, that one, that little screwdriver that came with that one is brilliant for getting underneath. And if I get underneath and lever that way so it doesn't scratch the paint, and I just put a rule under here, what we will find is it will eventually, come on, he says, there we go, it will pop out. And we haven't damaged the paintwork at all because we've levered it that way. We've levered it that way rather than that way. Okay, and then this rule I'm not levering, I'm just putting it under there just to give it somewhere to slide to get it out of that little recess. So there we go. So I'm going to paint these now, and then we can get those clipped in and finish off the rest of the bodywork. So these are just glued in with the super glue. There's a tab on the bottom that has to be bent, same as we did on these side pieces here. So there you are. Right. Now I think if you leave that piece of photo etch out, it'll all go together a lot easier, and you probably will be able to slide it in like the guy on the Pocher video does, but that is not how the model is designed to be built, unfortunately. Right, see you in a bit. Another thing, guys, while I think of it, I looked at doing these hinges. The problem is not the fact that it's too far back, it's the fact that it's too high. And there's nothing I can do with that, short of taking all this rear end off and grinding away the area where the hinges sit, and then it will sit a touch lower. But at the moment, there's nothing I can do because the whole thing is just sitting up in the air. So I'm afraid we're going to have to live with that gap there. Yeah. I just wanted to show you, if you are building one of these, so you don't wreck your paintwork. When you open this up, if you put a finger underneath there, okay, and then lift up, and then get your fingers behind here and pull back, all right, and then lift up. If you don't do the pull back bit, what happens is you can see here, you'll start wrecking the paintwork. So pull it back and then lift it up, okay. There we are, and it doesn't stay up. I was waiting for it to fall then. I thought I was going to show you that it doesn't stay up, and I thought it's going to stay up now, look. So yeah, it's I'll be totally honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with all this. I'm a bit disappointed they've used plastic instead of metal, because it's given us this problem of the translucency. We can see we've got a colour shift here. Because this is plastic, the bumper's plastic, these side pieces are plastic, and these bits going in the side here are plastic. So you know, if you really want to build a perfect model, I suggest repainting everything. But unfortunately, maybe they used to use metal, I don't know. But if they have gone from metal to plastic, it's unfortunate. Or they need to just put more paint on, or use a blocking primer or something like that, so that the light can't get through. It might be all right then, but it's not the best, shall we say. But I think it's going to look absolutely fine. To be honest, I mean, I'm looking at this now, and on camera it looks absolutely great, but in the flesh I can see the colour shift. So I don't know what's going on there. And anyway, I'll start waffling. I'm going to get those bits painted, and then we'll get all this fitted up. Okay, and we're back. So we've got those parts painted. They're all nice satin black now. So as you can see, we've got this pin on the bottom. I've cut the front pin off, as I said just now, because it's a bit of a hindrance. And as I also said in the video, they just literally slide that in, and that's not really how it goes at all, because this piece of PE, as you can see, is sticking out, and it needs to go in front of that vent and behind the black bodywork, which you can't see on the camera. But basically we can pop that into there like so. It's not easy, but it will go in, and you just have to sort of get that under there and manipulate it. It's very difficult to show you, but you will see what I mean when you build yours. You need to make sure the angle is correct and it sits in front of that piece of photo etch, not inside it. And then there you go, just heard it clip in. I'm not going to glue them because they ain't going nowhere. Okay, so that's in like that now, and we'll do the same on the other side. Turn this great big monster around. As I said, if you're seeing this colour change on all these parts, it's there, but I think the camera's making it look a lot worse, because as you can see here, the roof looks a lot darker than it does there. It's because of the light. If I move the light, or if I turn the light off, as you can see, it's not such an issue. It's the camera's playing tricks with your eyes. Now this air filter there, this air intake needs to go up, and then that's going to pop under there, and there we go. You see it pops in really easy. Make sure it's sitting in front of that photo etch, not inside it. And there we go, that's that in. As I say, I'm not going to glue it for fear of making a mess, and also they're not going to fall out, and it's not like an RC car. It's going to sit on a shelf somewhere and just look pretty. So now these panels here can be fitted. So this one that's the wrong side. This one is for this side. So we can get that up under there, because we've got this wedge in here which is going to wedge up in there. And then we've got this pin at the bottom, and all of the bodywork holds it in at the top. Remember I super glued it? I don't really think you need to. But all of this could be double-sided tape if you wish. Do you need to? I don't know. And then this side here is going to go up under there, and then again we can just pop that in there. Now we may wish to double-side tape that side, because it all is a bit sloppy. But for now I'm just going to, in fact what I'll do, I will double-side tape it, because otherwise I'm going to have to take those screws out from underneath again to get it in. So I'm going to get some double-sided tape out, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got a couple of rectangles of double-sided tape, so we'll take lifting the whole tape. I just want to take the paper off. There we go. So get the paper off of there, so we can take this side panel for this side, slot the back in there, slot the front down in there, and then we've got a pin on here which is going to go down in, and that's going to capture that double-sided tape. There we go. You see it holds it in place, and then this panel here can go in, and we can push the bottom lug into the hole. So that's good. You can see that's a lot more solid now. And then we can do the same on the other side. Get this paper off. Get that one in there. That one in there. And then push that pin in. So that's going to hold that. And then that one's going to go into there. And as we can see, it's all a lot more solid now. You may decide to glue these in, but be careful, because you're going to probably see where you've glued it through the paint. So as I say, it's not a thing to play with, it's a thing to look at, so don't worry about it. Okay, so now we need to turn the model over like so and put a couple of screws in. Now I can't remember what those screws were under there. I've got the instructions here. 26. Okay. Where was it? There it is. It's eye screws. There we go. So I've got a couple of eye screws and we'll stick them in those holes. So we'll grab our screws here. Grab a screwdriver. So one in there. I'm probably off camera, aren't I? One in there. That's holding that panel in, and then shut that so we don't knock it over. And then we'll have, I've got to stand up and look over the camera now. Hold that panel in place. Just get that screw in there. And now we've gone 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. So there we go. Right, so we can turn this back over now. What have we done here? We've got the towel pinched in the engine cover or something. Right, turn that over. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Slightly more awkward than the 24th scale, guys. I have to put it on my lap, straighten this towel out. There we go. Right, so we'll push that over there. So we've got a little bit of an area here to work with. Let's push that over there out of the way. Right, now look at the instructions. We've now done all this. I put these covers in the sides with double-sided tape so that I can remove them should I wish to strip it and paint the body after. We shall see. So what we're going to do now is step 26 to step 27. So we've got K13, K14 going together. So I've got the parts here all painted. So I've got lots of parts. Put them all here so you can see what we're doing. Right. So we have K13 and K14. That's 13. And one of these is going to be that one. So that's going there. So we've got big pin, big old, small hole. They're going to push together like that. They don't need to be glued. What they're doing, you can see I've painted that. This is a radiator, so I've painted that silver, and then here we've got another radiator. I've painted that silver. You're going to be able to see those through the rear vents. So here we have this one here is going that way. The blank side of the radiator is going onto there. Yeah. So that's going on like that, and that is literally a snap fit again. And then this one here is going that way around. So we've got 3 screws to go in here, and they are H screws. So we will grab a screwdriver. We will grab 3 H screws. So we can put these in. If you're wondering about time frames, guys, today is the 7th of July 2024. So when you do comment, please bear that in mind. Like, you know, if you say when you get to the next bit you want to look out for this, I will have already done it by the time you see this video. This model will be long finished, because what I'm doing, I'm putting them out every Saturday at 7 PM. So this is part 14, and this is going to be going out on, what's it going to be, August the 10th. So yeah, today is the 7th. Yesterday you got part 10, I think, which was the 6th, obviously. So they're going into there like that. So that's that assembly done. So we've got a radiator and everything. Okay, so next step in the instructions is step 28. We've got to turn it over, and we've got to put those parts into the body. So we've got to turn the body back over again. So there was absolutely no point in me turning it over in the first place. Right, so Get it like that, keep the engine covers shut. There we go. And we'll have it over this way. There we go. So these are going in. We can get our instructions. So this one's going on this side. So we've got 2 pins on here which are going to go into 2 holes, and then we've got a screw going in. So that's going down into there, like that. It's very difficult to see where those pins are. This is very awkward. This would have been much easier to do when before the rear body was fitted to the whole car. But I'm not sure if you could fit the body on then. I'm sure you could, looking at it. I don't know why they've done it this way. But this is yeah, this is bloody awkward. I don't seem to be able to get it to tip up. I don't know why. What's it called, Tom? Is this the right side? Yes, it is. This is nowhere near fitting. I can see where those 2 pins are supposed to go, and we are literally about 5mm too far back. This is crazy. I'll work out how this goes and then I'll let you know. Yeah, that was weird, it just sort of went in. So what you see what I'm doing is these 2 pins here, those 2 pins there, have to go into these 2 holes here. So I think this side might be easier because it's a lot smaller. But, it's also more difficult because I cannot see what I'm doing. So I'm going to turn this thing around like that. But it just, all of a sudden, it just went in. I don't know what happened. See, all sorts going on. The anti-roll bar's in the way now. So we are nearly there. We just got to go over a couple of millimeters to the side. God, this is awkward. I can't see why you couldn't do this before you fit the rear body. I don't get it. Because these pins are so long, it's pushing the vent down into the anti-roll bar while I'm trying to fit it. I'm trying to see what the earth is going on here. It's got to come forward. Oh, I've just pulled that bloody tape away. Oh, God. After I've put the screws in and everything. Oh, there we go. It just suddenly drops in. That, see that? Suddenly just dropped in. A screw can go in there and hold that in place. Make sure it's nice and firm so they don't rattle around. And there we are. Right, I've got to now take all this apart again so I can put that tape back straight, otherwise we're going to see those shadows. God, give me strength. Right, back in a second. That's all that back together with the tape back in. Right, so 29, 30 we've already done, 31 we've already done, that one we've already done. Now we're on to the mirrors and the doors. Okay, so here you can see the mirrors. We've got the little stand. We've got this little black piece here, D14. I fitted those so I didn't lose them. They are just a push fit. You don't need to glue them, so don't worry about damaging the paint. They're just like a little piece that pops in and allows the mirror to pop in. So with these pieces of vinyl, it's the same situation here as we had with the interior mirror, if you remember way back when. You've got this sort of webbed stiffener in here, and when you stick that vinyl on, it all goes obviously higgledy-piggledy. So what I'm going to do here is take this vinyl. I've got a piece of 20, I think it's 20 thou, plastic card. Doesn't really matter how thick it is as long as it's thinnish. And I'm just going to stick this onto here. Alright, and I'm going to take this one off of here as well, and we'll stick that one onto there and rub them down nice and hard. And then what we can do is use a pair of scissors, probably the easiest way. Grab a pair of scissors and we will just cut out the plastic card around the mirrors, just like so. Doesn't need to be perfect because we can always sand it afterwards. There we go, cut there, cut there. There we go. And then we can take a sanding stick and sand away just like so until we get a nice clean edge, and then we'll go around the edge with a black pen. And then when we stick this in here, I don't know if that's the right one, when we stick that's not the right one, when we stick this in here it'll be nice and flat rather than having that ridgy sort of shape. So we just put a bit of super glue on there or something and stick them in. Could even put a bit of double-sided tape on and just hold them in. So that's what we'll do, and I'll come back when we've got them ready to go in. Okay, so I've done that. They're stuck to the plastic. I've sanded down the edge and then I've gone round with a Sharpie, and I've just noticed I've removed some of the ink from there. There we go. There we are. There we go. Right, so which one's which? Is this one? Nope. This is this one. So we will remove, if I just check. Yep. So we'll remove the paper backing from there. Then we'll just pop that into there. Get it roughly sort of central in the aperture. Just push it down and that's it, stuck in. Job done. So now we've got a nice flat mirror rather than having it all bent and buckled. So do the same on this one. And this is, by the way, I cut this double-sided tape. The sheet you get in the kit, the whole sheet is double-sided tape, so don't throw it away when you're finished. If you cut that off, you'll have a great big piece of double-sided tape. And don't worry about the Pocher and all the writing and all that, because that's obviously part of the film, the carrier paper, if you like. So there we go, it can go in there like that. Job done. There we are, that's that in. Right, that's our mirrors done, and now it's asking us to pop. We've got to make sure we get this the right way around. So we have which is which. See, again, these instructions are letting us down. Is that one, or is that one? I'm guessing. I tell you what, I'm gonna put these on loosely. Yeah, it's that one, because we've got a slot in here. You can see there's like a semicircular slot and there's a pin on there. So if we go that way, that's clearly wrong, isn't it? So it's that one going in there. So now that mirror can... Or was it clearly wrong? Oh, it was easy enough to pull out anyway. It wasn't wrong, it was correct. So there we are, so that's the right way around. But they're easy to pull out anyway. So there we go. Now we're going to make a start on the doors. Right, so looking at these doors, I've got both the doors here, cleaned them up. Somebody asked, could they use IPA to remove the oily film? You probably could, but test it in an inconspicuous area first, like on the inside or something, just in case. There's another bit of something in the paint there. It's unfortunate. So I'm going to take this door. We've got a lump of something there. I'm not sure if it's a bubble in the paint or what it is. But it's a lump of something under the paint. So it's like a lump of primer or something. So we get rid of that. I'll put some double-sided tape on here, and then we can push this handle in, and that will stay in there. As you can see, the double-sided tape will hold it in. Okay, so there's our doors. We need our cloth back to put them on. We're also going to be using some of the double-sided tape here on the window frames. So I think we'll do that first. Now I've got all these bits and pieces all painted, so you don't have to stop starting. But what I haven't got the clear parts out. Let me go and get them. Alright, I've done a little bit off camera. We've got the decals. I'd noticed there's decals to go on here. I've put that unlock. No, I haven't. I thought I'd put it upside down. So we've got the lock and the unlock decals on the doors there and there. Lock on the top, unlock on the bottom. Looking at the references. I've got those a little bit skew with, but not to worry. So double-sided tape on here. It says on instructions DST16. They're a bit too long, so I've cut them down to like 28 millimeters rather than they're about 34 millimeters, I think, so or 32 millimeters. So yeah, cut those down a little bit. So we've got those in. We've got the clear parts there off, cleaned up, ready to go on. So what we need now is a pair of E screws. I don't quite see how on earth these screws are going to hold this on. Oh, E screws have the big head, don't they? Oh, they're just going to hold them on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, get 2 of those screws out. That's enough for one door. So we'll take this door, bring our cloth down. So that one's going to go onto there like that. Right, and then got something on there, a bit of double-sided tape or something. And that's going to fit in there like that. So that butts up nicely against there. Okay, so now I know I can remove this white paper from the double-sided tape. Put that in the bin. Careful with the knife so they don't scratch anything. And then I'm going to put these over first, over the bottom, get that lined up, and then push it up into the top, just like so. Get a screw on there, and screw these in. I've previously tapped these, but I obviously didn't tap them deep enough because I'm cutting threads now, which is how it's supposed to be done anyway. So that's going to go down in there like that. Blimey, I think I need to make sure the screwdriver doesn't slip and ruin that clear part. I'm going to have to tap that again. I'll get that tapped and I'll be back. Okay, we got those in. I tapped those deeper. All good. If you aren't tapping your threads, you're going to have a nightmare getting those screws in, because I've realised why I stopped tapping. I thought the tap had bottomed out, but I think the holes must be tapered and the tap got really tight at the bottom. So how you're going to get the screws in, I do not know. Okay, so we got these hinges to fit. So let's deal with the top one first. So we've got the top one here. That's this door. No, it's this door. Okay, so it's going the other way round. So it's really weird how they've drawn this actually. So this hinge here is that's that one, so this must be this one. So this is going into the top Like that, is it? Or like that? Like that? Or is that the wrong one? How on earth are these hinges supposed to fit in here? I think that's the right one. Okay, this is actually wedge shaped, this piece here, so it doesn't just drop in, you have to slide it in and then pull it back. And then we've got an E screw, so you can't physically put the wrong side in the wrong side. We have an E screw going into here. Tighten that down, make sure the hinge is nice and secure, and then I'm going to fit the other one. I know we're going out of sequence here, but I want to do this all. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Now that is okay. Yeah, it's okay. That's going to go into there, and then we'll have an E screw on here going into there. Tighten that down. Right, and then we have a G screw. So I'm not sure that these screws are going to tighten up, because when I went to tap the holes, these are M1.8, the tap just fell into the hole. So we'll see what happens here. I may have to super glue these in. Okay, so we've got these LO2s. So that is, let's turn this sideways. Got a beveled side and a straight side, so make sure you get them the right way round. So that's going to go into there. As you can see, the screw is just falling out. Oh dear. So yeah, so that's not going to stay in there. What I'm going to do, I'm building a Partworks Hachette Lancaster, and I know that's got M2 screws in it. So I'm going to see if I can get away with using those. Back in a second. There we go. There are other screws in the kit that you could use. It needs to be countersunk. So I guess you could use the screw F, but the trouble is they're M2.3. So you're going up quite a lot, and that's quite close to the edge. So if you try and tap it out to 2.3, you may well go through. This is actually from the Hachette Partworks Lancaster, and that is an AP screw. It's designed for plastic, but it fits in there beautifully, and it's countersunk. So I've put those screws in with thread locks so they don't come undone. So that's those gone in there. Right, I want to cover something now, because this is the point where you would do it if you were going to do it. It says here, please read page 3. Okay, so we take out page 3, and it says exactly the same in the actual manual that comes with this kit. So on page 3 you have these here. Attention, the speed of the doors lifting may vary depending on room temperature. Should you wish to adjust this speed to your liking, do not install the parts F01 and F02 till you have the doors assembled to the car in step 36. This is F01 and F02, it's the inner linings. Check the door opening mechanism speed and install the counterweights BL01, BL02 on the doors as shown in steps 34 and 35 if you wish to slow down the motion. You can install 1 or 2 counterweights per door in order to achieve the desired speed. So you can see here in the instructions we have shown here BL01 and BL02. Okay, they're obviously 2 sheets of steel or something. I don't have them. They're not in the kit. I can't find them anywhere in the box. So that was a pretty pointless exercise putting all that in there. So we're just going to have to hope that these doors work okay. So what we're going to do now, put these door cards together. So we've got this panel here. Where's the other one? Where's the other one gone? Found it. It was hiding. So that's going to go into there. Like that. Okay, and to be honest, I'm not going to bother gluing it because the paint I've put on is holding it. I'll go through what I've done with the painting in a second. Oh, that's going to need to be glued. So I'm going to get my new Pringles lid, get a drop of the black thin on there, like that. Grab our applicator, wherever that may be, and we will put some on the backs of these pins and let it capillary down, and that'll be enough to hold them in. They're under no load whatsoever, so doesn't need to be anything particularly special. There we go. So that's that. Right, so that's those in. These panels, this is the LP-05, the satin black. This here is LP-65, rubber black, and this here is it's the satin black, but I've put a tiny drop of gloss in the airbrush just to make it a little bit darker, so you can see there's a very slight difference between, I think they're speaker grills. But anyway, and we've got the decals on there for the lights for opening, and we've got the decals on there for the lock switches. So I'm assuming these just snap into place because they're not telling us to glue them. So I assume let's pick these up and see how they're going to go. They're going to stay on there. I don't really want to glue them anyway, in case if the doors do go like when they open, then we want to add some weight, don't we? So I'll pick this one up as well. I'm going to put that pin in there, that pin in there, and then just push. You can see there's our doors all built up, all looking lovely. So that's those steps done, other than the weights that we don't have, that we can't add. So that's that section done. This here needs to go like that, and then that goes like that, and then that goes like that. So the next step is going to be all of this. No, the next step, I've got this backwards, haven't I? 33. I've got all these the wrong way round. That's better, 37. There you go. Right, that's right now. So the next step is going to be adding bits and pieces to the body. Now the side steps are in here. I've done those. They're done in satin black. Where's the other one? 3B. And we've got the Aventador badges done the same as the rear. Sprayed them with the black paint and then rubbed the paint off the front. These are actually photo etch. So they're going to get put down with double-sided tape. So I'm going to do the double-sided tape, Vic. I'm not going to do that on camera again because it's boring. And then we'll see how they look. I'll just show you one thing in case you haven't seen previous videos. This double-sided tape can be very, very difficult to get out because you've got paper on the back, paper on the front, and the tape's in the middle, and you want the tape to come off with the front, obviously. You don't want the double-sided tape to stay on the back. So if you take a nice sharp scalpel, a nice sharp knife, and just go around the edge of the double-sided tape where it's embossed in the paper, and you just put enough pressure just to cut through the tape. You're not trying to cut right through and make a hole like I have there, because I wanted to take those out completely. That was why I did that. But here, then you see you've got the tape on the paper, whereas if you normally just try and take the paper off, the tape stays in the backing, which is a nightmare. And then we're going to, we've got ejector pin marks on here. So I'm going to have to take this to one side. Of course I can't put it down because it won't let me. Get off. Go away. There we go. Get a sanding stick and just sand away. Got raised ejector pin marks on here. So just sand those away like that. Damp finger, wipe over just to remove any dust. And then we're going to take our tweezers and position this tape like that. Give it a good roll down and it will stick down beautifully. Okay, so now we've got tape on both sides. So I've got to put those photo etch pieces on, and then we'll have these ready to go. So there we go. There's those. That's how they look. All lovely. All done. So that's good. Right, so we've got our doors done. We've got that done. We've done the building up around the back end. We've got our mirrors built and everything. So I'm going to call that a day for this one, because the next video is going to be quite a big one, fitting the doors and fitting the nose and everything. So I will see you for part 15. Or part 15 or 16? 15, isn't it? I'll see you for part 15, and we may even get this model finished in part 15. We will see. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. See you soon. Bye.